Well, do you believe in love now? You should. Unlike what Elton John says in the song, he's not all we've got, but he's our leader. And he has done more than enough to prove to the masses that he's legit. I mean, what more do you need? I mean, all he did was just beat the reigning, defending, undisputed Super Bowl champions. That's all. Oh, and he led all the way. He led the whole game. That's all. I mean, oh my. It's been what? It's been about 36 hours since that game ended, and I'm still just over the moon over this. We beat the Chiefs. The Chiefs, mind you. We beat the NFL's equivalent of Thanos. The NFL's final boss, and we beat him. Just think of that. And even better, we're above the playoff line as a result. Now, how fucking beautiful is that? So, yeah, that's really that is the complete centerpiece. That is the complete centerpiece of Week 13, and I did write about it on Vocal because it needed to be written about, so it will be featured. So check it out when you can. Um, Elsewhere, the week started off with a crazy shootout that had certain fantasy owners probably pretty much tearing their hair out because I'm pretty sure a lot of us started Dallas's defense as great as it has been this season. I'm pretty sure a lot of us, myself included, started Dallas's defense on fantasy. We had to. We didn't think they'd give up 35 points, which is bad because that's the lowest point. That's the lowest point when it comes to scoring defenses. If you're on fantasy, if your team defense gives up 35 points, that's a 4 point deduction. So you better do something. You better have done something else with it. Unfortunately, I think they have one sack and an interception, but that's it. But yes, but Dallas did win that game, and the Eagles lost. Yeah, the Niners got their payback. Remember when the Eagles got their payback against Kansas City? Now it was the Eagles' turn to be on the receiving end of it. Yeah, the Niners struck big time in Philly. Just beat them up. Debo Samuel dominated him. Thank God I have him on fantasy. Um, but yeah, so Niners got their pound of flesh. As a result, there's a one-game difference in the NFC East, and the Eagles and Cowboys play each other on Sunday Night Football. Ooh. Um, we also got some baseball. The Angels beat the Red Sox 6-0. No, wait, that was the Chargers and the Patriots. Oh boy, you know, again, a lot of people dreamed that the Patriots would just suck. We didn't think it would be this bad, though. People were still rejoicing. I mean, come on, the Patriots the Patriots were Thanos before Mahomes was, and it's a disaster. I mean, think about this. This is the third game in a row they've given up 10 or fewer points. That's a great defense. But they've lost all three. How's that possible? That would be like a baseball team giving up like 3 runs or fewer in a 3 game set and losing all three. Or in hockey, going gives up like two goals in 3 games and they give up like not 2 goals, 3 games, like 3 goals in 3 games and they lose. It's ridiculous. The offense is dead. The Patriots actually face elimination, but unfortunately, all of their elimination scenarios involve the Steelers losing and the Steelers winning. I mean, and the Steelers didn't win. They lost at home to Arizona. So, and minute that's as that game progressed, I kept thinking, oh boy, I kind of have to eat my words because I buried Mike McCarthy for losing to them, and now Mike Tom would have lost to him. Of course, Mike Tomlin, of course, is the best coach out of the 32 that are currently in the league. He is the best one. he's the only one I would put over Andy Reid. Dead serious. But and Kenny Pickett's injured and could be out for possibly the year. Oh boy. But yeah. So, and of course, Monday night game, the Jacksonville Jaguars came up short against the uh, Bengals in overtime, and of course, got Trevor Lawrence had to lead the game. He got hurt. He got dinged up. Thankfully, and just read this. He's not. It's kind of a minor injury. He's not expected to miss any time. We could see him next week. So that's very good. That is very good. Um, but Jacksonville's loss makes things pretty interesting in the AFC South because the Colts and Texans both won. So yeah, can you imagine? Can you imagine the Colts winning the AFC South? Ooh, who had that on the sports bingo card for this calendar year? But yeah. So week 13 was crazy. Well, I've learned for years, week 13 of any NFL season is always insane, and this one was no exception. So, yeah, and it gets even crazier because week 13 is now the start of the final one third of the season. That home stretch, the season enters the month of December. Of course, December is very important in the NFL, but because once upon a time, decades ago, the NFL champion was used to be crowned in December. But of course, schedule changes to push postseason play to January and of course February. But Detroit did win. Detroit did win, but it was pretty close. They had that moment when they scored like 3 touchdowns the first 7 minutes of the game, but the Saints almost pulled it off. But yeah, the month of December is very important. It's that last month. The last games are being played. Christmas time means certain teams are running out of time, and yeah, I do love that part of the season because that's and as hectic as it is for in the NFL, it's even crazier in fantasy football. Because remember, December usually means the end of fantasy football season, regular season, and then your playoffs, your championship, and all that good stuff. And as for myself, I'm gonna have a very busy December because all my teams are pretty much playoff bound. After 13 weeks, I have 2 teams that are 8-5, 2 teams that are 9-4, and 2 teams that are 10-3. That's amazing. This is the best I've ever done playing fantasy football. I don't have any duds at all. I usually have one, maybe two, but I don't have any out of all six. But anyway, that's my recap of week 13. Here's what's in store for us in week 14, the first full football week of December. Uh, Week 14 will kick off with the Steelers and the Patriots. Oh boy. That should be hella interesting. And also, the Rams. Who the Rams play? I know the Seahawks and the Niners play each other for this, have their rematch, and that's in Santa Clara. That's not good for Seattle. That is not good for Seattle because they're one of the 6-6 teams in this crazy log jam in the NFC. The Vikings get back to work against the Raiders. Like I said, Sunday Night Football is the Eagles and the Cowboys, and yes, the winner will move into first place in the NFC East, and possibly first place in the entire conference. It's 2 Monday games. First, the Dolphins, who have the number 1 seed, against the Titans, and it's the Packers and the Giants. Both games start at the same time, so that's gonna be interesting. Um, so that's my recap of week. That's my recap of week 13. If you like this video, click the like button. For people on YouTube, can subscribe if you want more. For people on TikTok, feel free to click that follow button. Of course, like I said, my story about the Packers game and my week 13 story, they'll be featured. Check them out when you can. And I'll be back next week. I'll be back tomorrow to share the updated playoff picture and take a look at who can get in. That's gonna be a hell of a doozy. So stay tuned. Oh, and go Pack, go, of course.